What's up, Night Owl? Steely here, back with another video, and today we're going over the Rime of the Frostmaiden Chapter 2 location, Dark Duchess. Dark Duchess is a pirate ship that got stuck in the sea of moving ice several months ago. The ancient white dragon Arviaturis has decided to use this ship as a place to store parts of her hoard. The party will hear about Dark Duchess either from the Tall Tales and Ten Towns or from a quest in Bremen requesting that they go find ale or spirits from the ship, which the quest giver is offering 150 gold, but unfortunately there is no more alcohol left on the ship. The most interesting way to hear about the Dark Duchess is if a character has the pirate Cannibal secret, which means that character was a member of the Dark Duchess until it was trapped, and then when the crew fled, they got trapped in a blizzard, and the character with the secret is the only one that survived, and they did so by eating the crew. When the party gets close enough to spot the Dark Duchess, they're going to notice that it's going to be a 10-foot climb up the side of the ship in order to get on board. And unfortunately, the entire ship is frozen, so without climbing gear or magic, it's going to be incredibly difficult to actually get up there. When the party gets within 15 feet of the ship, they're going to hear a lot of loud banging coming from Area 9 of the map. And this is an ice troll that is trying to break through a door in order to get to some kobolds. And the ice troll actually found this ship while it was chasing a herd of seal. The party can actually sneak up on the troll with a DC 12 stealth while they move through the areas of the ship. If a party member fails this check, the troll will hear them and decide that meal would be much easier to get to, at which point it will move up and start combat with the party. As difficult of an encounter as this ice troll can be for the party, it's actually a really easy encounter to run for the DM. It really only has one action to use in combat, and that's its bite and 2 claws. Everything else is just kind of a passive effect. Its icy aura does damage to anything around it, so it's going to try to move up and get as many people close to it as it can. And its regeneration just happens every turn as long as it doesn't take any fire damage. So it will probably, if a party member pulls out some fire, it will probably try its best to avoid it, but it will still go in for the claws and bites rather than run away. Area 1 is the main deck. Arviaturis had to break apart a large portion of the deck in order to get inside and store her hoard. And with a DC 12 survival, the party can actually determine that it was a single enormous creature that did the damage to this ship. And if they succeed by 5 or more, that is, they get a 17 survival, they can actually determine that it was Dragon's Claws that caused this deck to break apart like this. The door to Area 8 is covered in a thick layer of ice, which the characters need to remove if they want to get in. If the party uses a miner's pick or similar tool, it'll take them about an hour to chip through all the ice. Unfortunately, this will most certainly alert the ice troll in Area 9. If the party doesn't want to alert the troll at the lower levels, they'll have to use fire to get through this door. Unfortunately, that's going to take twice as long. Area 2 is the Forecastle. This is where Arviaturis climbs onto the Dark Duchess. If the party examines this deck, they'll notice that the dragon's weight has pushed down and cracked the wooden planks and gunwales in many places. Area 3 is the Aft Castle. The only thing here is the captain's wheel, nothing else of interest. Area 4 is the surgeon's cabin. The kobolds that live in the Dark Duchess have already looted this particular room, but they overlooked some things that maybe the characters would be interested in. 3 vials of antitoxin, a healer's kit, and a vial of holy water. Area 5 is the first mate's cabin. There's nothing of interest in this room except for a frozen bed, which is actually tucked underneath the staircase leading to Area 2. Area 6 is the chart room. In here, the party will find 2 maps, a 6x6 map of the Sword Coast, and a map of Icewind Dale in a map case that lies on the floor. If a character searches this room, they can also find a set of navigator's tools. Area 7 is a storage room. The crew took most of the supplies that were in this room, but there's still some useful equipment, nets, ropes, and if the party uses a crowbar to open the barrels, they can find a hooded lantern, flasks of oil, some manacles, and the other barrel holds 10 torches. Area 8 is the captain's cabin. It's here that the party will find the remains of Captain Rudolph Bluemoon. The captain ran out of provisions and starved before he could freeze to death. The badge on the captain's hat is in the shape of a golden trident with a red eel wrapped around it. With a DC 15 history check, the party can recognize this as a powerful pirate faction known as Ship Souljack. If a character searches the captain's body, they'll find a key with its head fashioned in the form of a rat's skull. This key opens the chest, which is currently frozen. If a character spends 10 minutes scraping off the ice and frost from this chest, they can use the key to unlock it. This chest contains old wine corks as well as 150 gold pieces, 520 silver, a small gold bracelet worth 25 gold, and a large gold bracelet worth 250. There's also a gray bag of tricks. This room also has the Captain's Journal, which chronicles the journey of the Dark Duchess. With a DC 15 history, a character may know a story or two about Captain Blue Moon. The book suggests that you allow a player to make up a story about Captain Blue Moon, and if they accept, award them an inspiration. Area 9 is the ship's hold. If the party hasn't drawn the attention of the ice troll, it'll be here trying to claw its way through the door to Area 12. It's also in here that the party will find a portion of Arviatoris's treasure hoard, completely covered with ice. Standing next to the treasure hoard is a crag cat that was killed by Arviatoris's breath weapon, placed here as a trophy. It'll take some time for the party to dig through all the layers of ice to get to the treasure hoard, but it will be so worth it. I won't go through the entire list, but here's some highlights. Thousands of gold pieces and various gems and art, a suit of mithril chainmail, and a quiver of Alana, to name a few. Area 10 is the galley. In here is the kobold's pet goat, which the troll has not yet noticed. There's no food left in the galley because the crew took most of it, and whatever they left behind the kobolds got to. Area 11 is the rum storage. This cabin is empty except for several wooden planks on the floor, which can be put together to show the image of a smiling face of a drow who wears an eye patch and a purple wide-brim hat, accented with a colorful feather plume. Elvish script around the circumference reads, "The best rum for your friends at One-Eyed Jack's." This is, of course, a reference to Jarlaxle Baneray. Area 12 is the water storage. The door to this area is barred shut, and the characters are going to have to break it down in order to enter. Kobolds have no interest of letting anyone in. Once inside, the 4 Icewind kobolds in here are going to hurl all of their javelins at the first creature that enters, at which point they will all be weaponless. If the party decides to be diplomatic, they can learn more about Arviatoris from these kobolds, who in fact worship her. At some point while the party is here, Arviatoris will return to the ship, and that will be completely up to you when this event happens. By the book, there is a 20% chance every hour that Arviatoris will return to the ship. But you guys know me, I would much rather script it during a really dramatic moment, like when they meet the kobolds or maybe while they're digging out the hoard. This is up to you. If you are looking for horror elements for this adventure, this is the encounter for it. In my opinion, this is the best example of horror in this entire adventure. The party is in this ship with no way out except past this massive creature that they all know can annihilate them. And they're here with the dragon's hoard. And to top it all off, this dragon is currently talking to its dead master that is currently riding on its back. Arviatoris, I've said it before, Arviatoris deserves her own video, and I will probably record one going over everything about her. But just read up on her for this particular section, because describe the sound of the flapping wings as she approaches and that loud crash and shaking of the ship when she lands. This is your way to really, it's going to be up to you as a DM to set the tone for this horror encounter. And in my opinion, Arviatoris talking to her dead master that's currently riding on her back really adds to the tragedy and the horror of this whole situation. It's so well done. This particular location, this encounter is so well written, and I love it. I love it so much. Now, if you couldn't guess, Arviatoris is going to be a bit much if the party decides to actually fight her. So this is a runaway type situation. If the party needs a distraction, you can have the rider on the back of Arviatoris fall off, which she will immediately stop all hostile actions to go and check on whether the rider's okay. The dragon needs help putting the rider back in the saddle, and she will tell the party that if they help her put the rider back in the saddle, that she will not attack them. With an insight check, the party can determine that this is false. Help could also come in the form of a Verbeeg named Tinyong, who will run up and cast a fog cloud in order to help the party escape. Tinyong is a worshiper of Sylvanas and has no agenda other than that she's just a really helpful creature. Tinyong will bring the party back to her cave in order to rest and recuperate, and it's here that the party can meet a Twinga who actually shares this cave with Tinyong. This Twinga is a big fan of music, and if a party member spends at least 1 hour playing music for the Twinga, it will bestow a supernatural charm on that party member. And that's it for the Dark Duchess location. I would have liked to have covered more on Arviaturis, the legendary white dragon, but there's just so much to unpack there that I feel like she deserves her own video, and I will probably record that video and put it out at some point when I finish up some of these chapters. But for now, if you're running the Dark Duchess, read up on Arviaturis, learn her story, learn about Meltheron and the wizard that rides on her back, and elaborate some more if you want to fill in some blanks, or if you feel like you want to make some modifications to it. This dragon, this encounter is just so well written, so well done that you can really nail that horror theme that a lot of people have been looking for. This is the encounter. This is it. I hope you enjoyed the video though, and if you did, you know how YouTube works. Hit those buttons, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite of the chapter 2 points of interest are, and if you want to join this D&D community, make sure you join the Discord. Link in the description. Come by, ask questions, let me know what you think. And as always, I'll see you at sundown.